Global audit, tax and business advisory firm KPMG has stated that to fully attract foreign direct investments into Nigeria's over 44 solid minerals chartered in over 500 locations nationwide, the country, through its agencies, must sign up for relevant international mining organizations. In its June report on the country's solid mineral sector, KPMG stated that based on its mineral wealth, Nigeria should naturally be a preferred mining destination for many multinationals. And joining me for more on this is Peter Nwaobi, Senior Manager, Energy and Natural Resources, ENR Unit, KPMG Advisory Services. Thank you, Peter, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, now let me begin by asking you how well Nigeria has utilized or is utilizing its over 44 solid minerals, which are scattered across 500 locations in the country.
Yeah, quite an interesting question. It's a thing of marvel, it's a thing of wonder that a country that is so blessed as Nigeria, like you rightly mentioned, with over 44, and that's those ones that have been accounted for to date, which we believe are in commercial quantities. We've still not been able to achieve the full benefit till date. To a very large extent, we've not been able to maximize the potentials of this mineral wealth that Nigeria claims to have. Judging by the contributions over the years to the nation's GDP, which is still falling significantly below 1%, especially based on the recently released Q1 figures for 2024, where the mining sector contributed a measly 0.23% to the gross domestic product, GDP of the nation. So we are not doing very well on this so far, and a lot still needs to be done.
Right, so what are the challenges really, and what do you think they are being tackled? Let's begin by, talking about the challenges.
The challenges, there are quite a number, like the report you rightly mentioned, which was recently released June this year. We launched it on the 6th of June. We had listed a host of challenges that the mining sector in Nigeria is particularly facing. And to mention but a few of them, I will start by stating the one that is the most obvious. And based on our interactions with foreign investors who also are willing to come and invest in Nigeria, the most prominent of them would be limited geoscience data and information. Companies don't want to invest, or corporations, global corporations wouldn't want to invest if there is any form of uncertainty. The risk becomes too much compared to the benefit they may gain. We have this information, like you said, and the first question says we have 44 of them. But how reliable is the geological data backing those mineral resources that we claim to have? The other one is funding. I mean, the last speaker, Prince Xavier, I think, also spoke about how difficult it is to obtain loans from banks, especially now. With the lending rates between 30 to 33 to 35% and all, double digit, it's quite outrageous. Mining is a very cost-intensive project, especially if you want to do it big and do it right. You have to actually invest significantly to be able to achieve them. The last one I will speak on, just for sake of time, is also about the framework, the legislative frameworks that currently govern this sector. So far, they are dated. The country is still operating on a mineral law, Mineral Act of 2007, which does not, to a very large extent, reflect current realities. So if I'm to go to the next one, how are they tackling it? I give kudos to the current administration under the two ministries that were set up by the president, the Ministry of Solid Mineral Development and the Ministry of Steel Development. They are doing a lot, and I must give it to them. The benefits may not yet be accruing, especially in financial terms, but I am personally, or we are as a firm, as people who are mining stakeholders, we are proud to be alive in this time to see a lot of movements being done back end by the mining sector. And to mention a few, for geoscience data, like I had mentioned earlier, as one of the key challenges, the Ministry of Solid Minerals under the Honorable Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Dele Alake, recently launched the Mineral Resource Decision Support System, which is an online portal. We've never had anything like this before. Before, if you needed any information on data, you needed to go to the ministry. But at least there's a first-hand check, which you can do online from any part of the world. That is very good. Another one is illegal mining. So I didn't mention it as part of the challenges, but it is a significant challenge that is plaguing the sector. The current administration, too, has done significant work. They've launched or instituted a mining marshal team, which is a collaboration of several security forces, the NSCDC, the military, the Nigerian police, the customs, and they are no longer staying at the checkpoints, but they are also going into the bush, into the forest, where those illegal activities are being carried out significantly. So the government is trying, they are doing their best, but we are still not yet there.
All right, you talked about funding, but I also think it's important to note that when we talk about prime lending rate, mining, quarrying, and all of that, they enjoy, that, and then they have about single-digit rates between 7, 8, and 9. Is it doing enough?
Based on conversations with several stakeholders in the sector, it's not what is obtainable in practice. Most of the serious players go outside of the country to actually source for funds from multinational funding organizations, and that's what we see. So even if it's on the books, as you said, it's probably not a very straightforward application process.
Well, Nigeria isn't, beg your pardon, Nigeria isn't naturally a preferred mining destination for many multinationals, beg your pardon. Now, why is that?
Like we had started the conversation from stating some of the obvious challenges that the nation and the sector, by extension, actually does afford these miners. The key issues, based on conversations with several of these multinational firms, are not far-fetched: infrastructure, security, and of course, one of those ones that I had mentioned before, which is the framework, the policy framework that we currently have. Security is no news to any of us about what is happening, especially in the northern part, northern part of the country, and recently has even spread to several other parts of the country. Worse off in those forests where they reside, and those are the places where those mining activities happen the most. Security is not good. Investors would not want to put the risk is too much for them to invest their funds and then not be assured that they can be there to operate peacefully and safely. Yes, the mining marshals, like I had mentioned, they've been doing a lot of work. They've been clamping down a lot on illegal miners and all. But a lot still needs to be done to actually clear up the face of Nigeria when it comes to security. Infrastructure, roads, good road network. Speaking about from pit to port, being able to be assured that when you mine, when you quarry, when you obtain your natural resources in situ from the site, you are able to move them easily and safely. Again, easily is true. Most developed countries use train when it comes to mining because it can cut across several jurisdictions, several states within a very short, without having to go through roads or the air, for instance. So train system, connecting road train systems would also help. Electricity is under infrastructure. I will not say much on that because it's also a very obvious issue that we currently face. Mining processing, especially the processing of the mining itself, requires intensive energy. Many of these players spend a lot when it comes to energy, when it comes to using gas, when it comes to depending on the grid, when it comes to using coal. And with the global drive towards sustainable energy, sustainable development goals, cleaner energy, we can't keep relying on fossil fuel. So a lot needs to be done when it comes to lifting off or projecting the face of Nigeria as a mining destination that is both safe and has significant benefits as compared to the costs.
All right, so what will joining international mining organizations do for Nigeria with regards to attracting foreign direct investors?
Yes, very good question. In this report, you had mentioned at the onset of this interview, we had also stated that joining international organizations actually does have a lot of advantages that Nigeria stands to gain. And I would mention but a few. I mean, we had cited about 2 or 3, but there are quite a handful of others that Nigeria can look to. The first one I will speak on is the CRISCO, which is the Committee of Natural Reserves, Committee of Mineral Reserves International Reporting Standards. This is an organization that they essentially bring in welcome organizations or professional bodies from countries, professional bodies that are involved in the development of reporting codes when it comes to mineral resource estimation, mineral resource reserves, and of course, even mineral exploration in totality. What does this organization do? They kind of give a stamp of transparency, a stamp of trust, kind of authenticating the veracity, not just the existence. Like you had mentioned, we have 44 minerals.
Okay.
But not just the existence, but the veracity of those reserves and the fact that they are there. Aligning with such organizations will definitely project Nigeria, because we are in the era where ESG investing, ESG is environment, social and governance. ESG investing is the order of the day. Most countries, most multinationals don't want to put their money in companies or countries where ESG is not the order of the day.